Hello, everybody. My name is Benjamin Bloom. Welcome along. It is the Benjamin Bloom Show, and this is the match review for Brentford 1, Preston 0. Brentford make it 8 straight wins. Make yourself known if you're in the chat by giving us a comment. Let me know you can see and hear everything okay. And give the thumbs up. A big night in the Championship, and Brentford just don't stop winning. An 8th straight win for the Bees means Leeds cannot be promoted tomorrow against Barnsley. Here is your table. Unless there's been something happen right at the end of the Bristol City game that I do not know about, I'll just check. I don't think there has. And that table should at least be up to date for about 15 minutes, I guess. But more to the point, no. So Bristol City and Stoke ended 1-1, which is a bit of a blow for Bristol City's playoff hopes. And obviously this game at the top means that Brentford have closed in to West Brom. They're within 1 point now. Remember, still West Brom 2 victories against Huddersfield and against QPR, and they are promoted. But hell of an effort from Brentford. Whatever happens, if they finish 3rd or they finish 2nd, doesn't look like they're going to finish 4th now. 4-point gap over Fulham. Brilliant effort from the Bees on the run-in, and it's going to be a decent points total, potentially 87 and no promotion. So that is about the size of it now. For Preston, still have a chance of the playoffs. They're 5 points off with 2 games to go. Derby are out of it. Derby on downwards now. Derby on the beach. Blackburn on the beach. Let's just have a look in terms of Bristol City and Stoke. Bristol City clinging on to a chance to the playoffs, but 5 points off. Any kind of result, a Cardiff win in the next game, takes out everybody except for Millwall and Swansea, doesn't it? Looking down at the bottom of the table, Stoke have a point that takes them to that magical 50. Remember, we can put Wigan down there on 45 as well, meaning there is traffic in between Stoke and Borough. Birmingham and Charlton are at half-time as we speak. It is 0-0 there. Forest 2-1 down at home to Swansea. I think Forest were a win away from the playoffs. That is about the size of it. Let's go through tonight's action. I can see your comments coming. Keep those comments coming along. We'll get to those after I've gone through the action, and then it'll be a bit of a free-for-all. We can do Q&A. We can do live stream for as long as people are here. Get your thoughts in on this really tense promotion race. Look, I'm a neutral. You can see my Ipswich scarf up there, but even my heart was beating fast when Preston were lobbing a few of those free kicks in at the end there. But Brentford held on for the win. And the only goal of the game coming very early in the game. Ollie Watkins is 25th of the season after just 4 minutes, indeed. It was a Preston attack, actually, down the right-hand side with Barkhausen. Henry takes it off him. Henry into Ben Rama, into Jensen, onto Mark Condes, into that number 10 position. He drifts inside from a sort of right of central midfield position. Look at that lovely dink into the box. He dinks it on the angle. Watkins runs in on the angle. And when he converges on the ball, it's typical Watkins here. He hits the shot early and powerful. We were talking about a couple of other moments in this game where players went for power. On this occasion, it works. Just an early shot from Watkins. Good attack. Hit it, get it on target, and it is the only goal of the game. Pretty much goes straight through. Rudd just hit it so early and enough power that Rudd could not react. Closest Preston came in that half was this effort here. Darnell Fisher. You can see that is Raya having pushed the ball away. You can see right at the centre of the top of the pitch, you can see Darnell Fisher a long way out. Great free kick from him. It was swerving, it was dipping, it was going into the corner. Really good save from David Raya. The pattern of the first half was pretty much Brentford having the possession, creating a few chances, but Preston did have some threat. Obviously, not really so with Brentford in terms of a passing game. Only probably Leeds, Fulham, West Brom would attempt that, I think, at this late stage in the season. So, as expected, they didn't have a lot of possession. There are the half-time stats, but 2 shots on target and managing to cause some threat as well. Johnson playing in Barkhuizen and Raya making the save as well there. Into the second half here. Dangerous free kick from Preston lands inside the 6-yard box right at the start of the second half indeed. There's a swipe clearance and it deflects. Could go absolutely anywhere, but it goes safe, luckily for Brentford there. Rafferty takes Mbuemo down right on the edge of the box there. It looked like he'd done him with a clever little nutmeg and push him back onto his left foot there. Yellow card for Rafferty just outside the box. 55, Norgard. Mbuemo, quick first touch onto Ben Rama through to Watkins. He's on the right-hand side of the box. I guess similar position that Barkhuizen was. Barkhuizen was in behind in the first half. Watkins is marked. Here he goes again for early power. Puts it over the top there. Preston, nice bit of territory down the right. Numbers in the box here. Ledson shoots. No power on that one. Raya gathers easy. Preston corner. Deep to Daniel Johnson. He's waiting on the back post. Not on the back post, on the back corner of the box. If the ball goes loose to him, it does. He chests it down. He gets the volley off, but it's deflected over. De Silva comes in for Jensen on 67. Josh De Silva not starting this one. Brentford able to rotate their midfield starters. All 4 of them doing a good job here. Norgard, Jensen, Marcondes, De Silva all contributing. So who knows who'll start the next game. Well, Norgard definitely will, and 2 others. Close on 71. Ben Rama, he's in the box. He's running laterally across. They don't want to touch him. He gets that acceleration and he goes past 1, past 2. He's got to spin and angle the shot. But unfortunately for him, he's running outside of the post. So unless he can really wrap his foot around that and hook that back inside the post, there's a difficult chance, and he puts it wide. Where was the Ben Rama dive? I missed it on 62. I'm sure I'll get in trouble if I don't mention this. There is Said Ben Rama, who I'm a very big fan of. But yes, sometimes players try and do naughty things to try and win football matches. And yes, clearly I will acknowledge that one is a dive. And the referee gets that right as well. Yellow card there. We had one for Pereira yesterday before everyone piles in on Grealish over the weekend. Flair players who dribble a lot are prone to doing this sometimes, let's just say. Load of substitutions here. Stockley, Potts, Sinclair, all on for Fisher, Brown, Barkhuizen. The 3-5-2 turns into a 4-2-3-1. Was this the plan all the way along? Stay in the game, get Story on the big guy and Sinclair and Potts running off him. Maybe it was. Who knows? Valencia in for Mbuemo as well. 77 fell into Watkins here. Preston getting a little bit more space at the back now, and Brentford are the counter-attacking team here. Ledson makes the block there on Watkins as he pulls the trigger. Ben Rama picks up another position in the 10 spot. Didn't have his radar today with his shooting. Ben Rama over the top. It goes from 20 yards on 86. Zambarek comes in for Marcondes. No big chances being forced though for Preston. It's a big up and under from Rudd on 89. Hughes goes up for the first header. It's all very loopy. It falls for Harrop. It is a free header after a fashion, about 6 yards out as well, but it's a floaty ball, standing jump, and he can't get enough power on it to test Raya. 5 minutes of stoppage time goes up. Very, very tense, this running. Same at Swansea against Leeds at the weekend, and last night for the end of the West Brom Fulham game. It's real end of season stuff now, isn't it? Silva with a tame shot there. You never know the right thing to do. You run it in the corner and it's, oh, you should have had a shot. You have a shot. It's, oh, you should have run it in the corner. Watkins then gets a yellow for stopping Rudd take the kick. Last chance for Preston comes on 93. Henry gets pulled up for a foul. Free kick into the box. Everybody's forward, but Brentford defend well, as they did all game, because they got that clean sheet, and that is all she wrote. That is the 8th straight win. There are your statistics. 14 shots to 8 in Brentford's favour. 3 shots on target, 4 for Preston. That is Stat Zone reporting a big chance for Preston. I'm quite interested to see which one they are classing as a big chance. So let me just look that up very quickly. It won't even tell me the player. I think it's the header. I think it's the header for Harrop. It looks like it. So they're classing that as a big chance. That's a bit of a outlier, I think, because obviously it's all done from the position on the pitch, as opposed to, you know, it's a loopy ball and a standing jump and hard to get anything on it. But a stat is a stat, isn't it? You can see all of the other stats there. Completed passes, attacking third passes, take-ons, all in Brentford's favour. Preston putting the crosses, the tackles and the interceptions in. But the game ends 1-0 to Brentford. We put it up in the introduction show, the pre-match. That is the 8th straight win. Only 2 goals conceded across those 8 games. It's an absolutely brilliant effort for Brentford. And I made these slides earlier. If Brentford win, Leeds need 4 points for promotion. 88 is the target for Leeds. Can they get 3 of them tomorrow to need 1 point from 2 games? We will find out tomorrow night. Very tight now for 2nd and 3rd. West Brom need now 6 points for promotion. They need to win both their games to guarantee it. Brentford need 3 more points off the remaining 2 games to guarantee 3rd place. So that is the size of it today. Let's have a look at your comments before we go to them. You can support the channel by using Super Chat on YouTube, subscribing on Patreon. If not, and you don't want to support financially, hit the like button, please. Comment and subscribe as well. We're coming up 9,800 subscribers there. You can see a little thing my missus made me there that says 5,000 YouTube subscribers. That could be 10,000 with your support very, very soon. Let's have a little look here. White Hart Dane says, if only Preston had won that first game of the season against Birmingham. We often get lots of people identifying, I don't know, one or other game. I think context is all, isn't it? And the games obviously get bigger at the end of the season. But yes, any game a team doesn't win, you can identify. But at that time, without the pressure on, it's hard to say. But I know what you mean. Connor gives it a meal, and that is because Millwall are still nicely in it. Let me bring up our current table and keep me appraised of any goal changes in these current games. There are Millwall 2 points off the playoffs. Swansea currently leading at Forest, closing in. In fact, if Forest lose that, they will be looking over their shoulder. Still unlikely that they would be caught, but it could happen. It's the Championship. Lana says, scrappy result, but it's all that counts. Didn't really think Preston, for all the possession, threatened at all. I totally agree. Yeah, totally agree. I remember when Ipswich went up in 2000, there was a game, it would have been like 2 from the end or 3 from the end. And it was 1-0 at home to Crystal Palace. It was exactly like that game. Took the chance, very cagey, not too many chances, not too many goals. In the words of Brian Clough to Nottingham Forest before the European Cup final, just win. It gets to this point in the season. It's you know the team, you know the strategy, you know the stakes. Just do your job and just win. Preston gave it a good go in the second half, says Mike. It's hard playing away at Brentford, especially 7, now 8 wins on the trot. You want to give it a go, but you just can't leave yourself open, can you? Whitehart says Brentford seem to be playing better away from home, but still get those wins. Connor says Preston, Bristol, Derby out of the race. Yeah, I guess that's an opinion from Connor, because mathematically, even though he's probably right, Preston and Bristol City still can catch Cardiff, but in all honesty, look at it. Maximum upside now is 68. So, especially for Bristol City with the -4 on the goal difference as well, Cardiff really need 1 point from the remaining 2 games to see off those 2, which means our 6th place race, and could Forest get dragged back, I wonder, is between Millwall, Swansea, Cardiff, and Forest up there. Although, how many points do Forest need? What's the upside there for Millwall is 71. So Forest only really need 1 more win from their last 2 games. But they wouldn't want to creak into the playoffs, would they? Come on, Leeds now, says James. That's always been the case. It's been in their own hands, hasn't it? Millwall, Swansea, Cardiff, Forest, 2-game shootout. Indeed, we'll check out the fixtures. We'll do that at some point on Friday. Games coming thick and fast. Badger says Brentford will be mightily relieved to win that. They weren't great. Just did the job, didn't they? That's all you got to do at this point. Chris says good, solid defence. That's the difference with Brentford this season. Yeah, Pinnock's played his way in. Janssen, good player. Norgard in front. But remember as well, with teams like Brentford, often that goals against column is propped up by the fact that they actually don't give away that many chances because they have so much possession. If you looked at when tiki-taka was happening, Pep's Barcelona, okay, they're one of the greatest teams of all time, but they didn't concede any chances because they had the ball all the time. Even like Rodgers, Swansea and teams like that always had really good defence. Alex says Brentford a point behind West Brom. They couldn't, could they? Well, who knows? And it's Huddersfield who are keeping a lot of clean sheets. It's only Luton recently have scored against Huddersfield. All their other games have been clean sheets. But you would think the alleyway for Brentford to get past West Brom would be a 0-0 draw. Huddersfield forcing a 0-0. Remember, Brentford still have to go to Stoke. That's not like the most straightforward thing in the world. I know Leeds fans will be saying, but we beat Stoke 5-0. But, you know, it's an away game. It's 2 games to go. It's all the pressure on Brentford there in that game. No margin for error whatsoever. Shouldn't be easy. Matthew says, damn you, Brentford. Surely you Leeds and West Brom fans in the chat, there must be part of you that admires what Brentford are doing with this chase. It's 8 straight wins. Remember, Leeds did 7 earlier in the season. The record since the Championship was called the Championship in 2005. I know it predates that by miles. But the record is 10, and they could equal it and still not go up. Things get interesting. They've been interesting for a while. There we go. Ian says, Preston, not good enough. No, they didn't have enough, did they? I wouldn't necessarily say they played badly, but they just didn't have enough. And they couldn't impose themselves on Brentford enough. Maybe just a little bit too scared of what was going to be done to them. George, still remain confident. Dan says that the Swansea penalty is madness. I haven't seen it, I have to say. Rob, all day Millwall win the playoffs. I have to say, as a bit of a closet Millwall lover, wouldn't it be great if they got in there? A non-parachute payment team. I know Preston are in the same vein, but if I put the table up there and look, Leeds obviously have not had any parachutes. West Brom have, Brentford haven't, Fulham have, Cardiff are at the moment. Swansea are running dry on them, but. So sort of how many teams in there? 1, 2, 3, 4 of the top 7, all currently in receipt of parachute payments. It's nice to fly the flag for those teams up there that don't have that big extra 45 million quid the first year, 75 million over 2 years. I don't want to start that ramble again. Feel my blood pressure going. How can I watch Forest Swansea? It's not on any stream site. You might have to pay for it, Connor. There we go. Radaby says, thought Preston were awful. Lump it up front, long ball rubbish. Maybe a little bit unfair. I think in the first half, there was a couple of times where they tried to break from midfield. A couple of nice bits of lateral passing to win the free kick from Fisher and the ball through from Johnson. At the end of the game, Radaby, I would agree. It was get it up to Stockley and get men round him. that can be very effective if it's done well. The truth is they didn't do it with any quality, did they? So, Sean, truth be told, everybody winning, losing or drawing, there's only one Bielsa way. Everybody winning at the moment, I have to say. Whiteheart Dane says, all depends on whether Huddersfield need a point on the last day. Well, remember, West Brom Huddersfield isn't the last game of the season, is it? It's West Brom QPR, if you are referring to that. Not sure who Huddersfield last game. Sorry, mate, no promotion party tomorrow. Chris says, up the bees. Bean? I think he means Ben. Cheer up. I think Chris has still got some idea that everybody is against Brentford. They're not. We all admire you. I'm very happy with. I think they're a great team. I think they've got some great players, and there's just no way that I don't know where you think where this defensiveness from you is coming from, sir, Chris. But I'm just telling what's happening here. I think Brentford are on an outstanding run. I'm perfectly happy. I'm getting racked by the tension. Leeds are going up no matter what, says Darren. Connor says Leeds are going up at Derby. Leeds can send Barnsley a huge step towards League One. Yeah, Barnsley's last 3 games. Skipper says if there ever were a year where the top 3 should go up. You know my feelings on that. I love the playoffs. There we go. Rob says, come on, Charlton. That's a Millwall fan, I think. Very strange. Any news on Wednesday points deduction? Nothing from me, I'm afraid. Bristol City now out of the picture, need a Forest equaliser. The Millwall fans are starting to have a look at this. Millwall, 9 points in the past 4 games, are on very, very nice form. Michael says something that everyone's forgetting, but is patently true. Every team is responsible for their own destiny. Ridley says, fancy Brentford for that 2nd place. Preston just not good enough for playoffs, just like Derby in the end. It's Cardiff's to lose now. Forest will be looking over their shoulder if they don't win. Agree with all of that. James says, as a Leeds fan, Brentford are going to win all their games. I would be worried if I was a West Brom fan. Badger says, only one decent chance for Brentford. No big chances for Brentford, indeed. I mean, it depends on your definition of decent, doesn't it? But they did it. They did the job, didn't they? And, we've seen many teams win many games with fewer chances of that than that. It's Kitty Lear. Yeah, Kitty says, West Brom need to be worried. 2 points in 4. Not great. Normally, you'd think, not losing in the promotion running would be fine. But given what Fulham won 4 and drawn 1, Leeds are on a streak. Brentford are on the streak of all time now. So Carl says Stoke on the beach. Yeah, that might be true, actually, in respects of Brentford's next game. But I don't know. On the beach teams, can they be dangerous sometimes? Who knows? Although I do stand by the fact that you'd rather play an on the beach team than one either fighting for promotion or relegation. Huddersfield taking a point with West Brom. Brentford finished 2nd. Tom's off to do the big food shop. There you go. He's left the thumbs up. Everybody hit a thumbs up, as you can see down the bottom there. Support via Super Chat. Pencil machine operator, Leeds fan, starting to get worried again. That Leeds fan anxiety is creeping in. Look, Leeds need 4 points from 3 games. That's, what is that? 1 point. Is that 1.33 points per game? They're scoring 2.4 at the moment. Leeds will be fine. Do not worry. But pressure is a funny thing. Nick says pressure has been on all the top 3 for the last few games. Same again tomorrow. Never easy. Yeah. And the longer these games go, it starts to get tense. I can feel myself in this last 5 minutes. You start to realise that any mistake at this point will just be replayed and will be of seismic consequences. If Leeds win tomorrow, they could be promoted Friday or Saturday if West Brom or Brentford drop points. Not true, Tony, I don't think. I think on Saturday, yes, if Brentford drop points. In fact, let's add that up. So West Brom play on Friday, don't they? So we can say this for certain. So if Leeds win, they'll go up to 87. So West Brom... Oh, actually, is he right? 87. Yeah, no, he's right. If West Brom then lose, sorry, Tony, you are right. If West Brom lose, they'll be on play 45, 82. Leeds would be on, yeah, you're totally right, Tony. Then two teams can't catch Leeds. I take that back. I stand corrected. So, yes, there is a scenario that Leeds will be promoted on Friday without playing. Interesting. Good point, Tony. Josh says it's fine. We'll beat Barnsley and Derby, and Clicks will score and celebrate by pulling out. But if you actually pulled out an actual pair of binoculars, that would be great. Badger, yes, I've got my head around this now. You've got to bear with me, guys. I've like been going through all the permutations every night, and it changes every night with every result. So I haven't updated them since. But you guys are right. If Leeds win tomorrow and West Brom drop points on Friday, so let's play that out one more time. Let's just play out the draw scenario. So Leeds win tomorrow, they go to 87 from 44. A West Brom draw would mean only Brentford could then catch Leeds. Two teams can't catch Leeds. Ergo, Leeds would be promoted. Badger and Tony are right. I can't add up. There we go. Mally says, can't see Leeds dropping points tomorrow. Famous last words, maybe? Who knows? Who knows? Where am I looking here? Phil, West Brom need to be worried. 2 points in 2 games, 4 points dropped. Not great. Yep, very, very true. Did I read that one out already? I've gone to the wrong place, haven't I? Keep your comments coming in as I continue to try and get my head around this. We are going up. Positive thinking. Betty Swallock says, love Huddersfield, me. All these Leeds fans changing their allegiances. Down at the bottom, yes, we've got some massive games as well. We'll do the preview. We'll get Leeds and Barnsley out of the way. At least I can plan now, because obviously we would have had to do the congratulations Leeds Beelzebub show tomorrow night if they were able to go up. That could be on Friday now, couldn't it? That could be an interesting time. We'll all be glued, no doubt, to that West Brom and Huddersfield game. I've already read that one, haven't I? Dear me. Scrolling. Keep your comments coming in. We'll keep the live chat going while people are still commenting. Sorry, you guys have done so brilliant. So many comments here. Raymond says, hi, Ben. How are you doing? Good to see what you thought about our win against Swansea last Sunday. I thought it was brilliant. Thank you, Raymond. White Hart Dane says, I'll reach 10,000. Yeah. 10,000 subs. We're closing in. I don't like to blow one's own trumpet, but we'll be very proud if we reach 10,000 here together. So if you do come in and just watch, I know some people just type in the name of the channel and don't actually subscribe, but it does help if you subscribe. So if West Brom draw on Friday and we win tomorrow, we're up. Yes. Wolf says, all going Pete Tong at Forest. Let's just have a little check. See how these scores are going here. We're into the second halves. Forest have equalised, in fact. It's Birmingham 0, Charlton 1, which would be a great result for Charlton. It is Forest 2, Swansea 2. Sammy Amiobi has 2 goals there. He's just equalised in the past 10 minutes there. Moving on. Paula says, Birmingham are 10 times better than the mighty Brentford, according to Harley Dean. Yes. Remember, as part of the excellent Brentford recruitment, they managed to ship some players out, Max Collin, Harley Dean and Hotter, to Birmingham under Harry Redknapp there. And maybe that could be the cause of the FFP. Got some Rioja on the go tonight. Cheers to all you lot watching. Keep the questions coming in and we will keep going. I do think Brentford are better than West Brom, play better football, think they will slip up against Huddersfield. I know what you mean. I really know what you mean. I think where West Brom maybe pip Brentford is just that recruitment in January, been able to add in Grzycki and Robinson just to freshen that up where they were already strong. And Bilic as well. Good manager, very good manager. I know they're paying handsomely for him, but White Hart Dane says, sometimes you need to win ugly. Absolutely, you do. Hip to the game says, not good form to be going into playoffs for Forest. I'll do a bit of research. I bet there's some team somewhere who absolutely stunk out the last 5 games, crept into the playoffs and then won them somehow. So Jason says Leeds just need to beat Barnsley now, point against Derby. Yeah, and I think the win against Barnsley, it just shifts all that pressure on West Brom. Although really, will West Brom even be looking at Leeds anymore? Now they're only going to be looking at Brentford. Now I think Leeds might be an irrelevance, and Leeds totally become an irrelevance to West Brom as soon as if they get 3 points tomorrow night. QPR still have Millwall and West Brom. QPR, the Kingmakers. There we go, indeed. 1-1 up at Newcastle. Norgard is class. Never got a real chance to shine at Fiorentina. Over to you, Brom, said Jake's no. I think it's over to Leeds first, isn't it? Remember, the entire world will collapse if Leeds lose tomorrow, won't they? So, it's not the end of the anxiety, and stranger things have happened, but you think they'd be okay. Mike's telling us Charlton have gone 1-1 up. Waffler, I think. Sorry, these are score lines coming in. I think we're all up to date. Baggy says, this is how trouble you lot get, isn't it? I would admire them if it wasn't our promotion on the line. I suppose it's very easy for me to sit there as a neutral fan and admire them. But as soon as you're up, you'll all admit they're a really good side. Russell says admired as well, more annoyed, yes, indeed. Brentford keeping them honest. How can you moan about healthy competition? Hey, people just want their teams to win, don't they? Wolf says, come on, Forest. It's a good scoreline for Millwall, isn't it? So I think this table was at Swansea winning. So take 2 points off Swansea would put them on 64. Is that right? I think I'm right. We should keep Millwall the closest to Cardiff. It is still in Cardiff hands, but, we're in crash bang wallop territory now, aren't we? People can mess it up. Badger says, oh my God, no, Millwall in the playoffs. There you go. They will have earned it, wouldn't they? Would love to see another proper working class club like Millwall go up. Sky pundits would have faces like smacked asses all season. There we go. Raymond says, Leeds will win tomorrow, really confident but nervous. Yes, two things can be true, can't they? Charlton 1 up, we know about. As a Leeds fan, I'm now completely relaxed about the situation. To be fair, have to say, not always been the case. Yeah, obviously you'd like to be promoted with 3 games to go, but not a bad situation to be in at Leeds, isn't it? Think where they've come from as well. Millwall in the playoffs and in the Premier League would be hilarious. It'd be great, wouldn't it? Hey, wouldn't it be great? Forest 2, Swansea 2. Warburton loves Brentford. QPR won't be doing them any favours. There we go. Who doesn't want to see a little club like mine that don't bang on about their history in the Premier League? Isn't calling yourself little kind of banging on about your history? I'm only joking, Skipper. It'd be great to see these clubs that have never got a go. And whatever verbiage you want to use, big, little. Brentford they've never been in the Premier League. They don't have the fan base that a lot of the clubs have. And diversity is great, isn't it? I think it'd be awesome to see them up there. Nick says, love to see Millwall in the playoffs. Cardiff away at Borough will not be easy. Warnock not happy about Cardiff. Interesting. 2-2 would be a great result, says Alex. Chris says, I was only joking. You got me. Waffler says, Birmingham v Sunderland as a League One fixture whilst Wickham are in the champ. Hey, the mighty Ipswich are already down there. There we go. Jake Snow says, Bants aside, think Frank would surprise a few in the Premier League? Do you think they'd get on without Ben Rama? A tricky one, that, isn't it? Because, do you take the Norwich point of view and just say we can secure the financial future of our club for 3 years with parachute payments and not spend? I did hear a good argument that, and this has nothing to do with an Ipswich-Norwich thing, but Norwich don't need the parachute payments. The parachute payments were there to make the Premier League competitive, and they haven't spent any money. So obviously they've earned them, but it's not why they're there, is it? To then fund a domination of the Championship. But again, don't start me on parachute payments. There was a Brentford director who came up with the playoffs. Really? I didn't know that. I know it was David Cheapshanks who rightly, the Ipswich chairman, got the away goals removed. Brentford only need the one chance, expected goals. Let's not talk about expected goals again. We went all over that last night. Feels like Stoke is safe, Ben, says Liam. Yeah, I agree. Let's just bring up the bottom of the table and have a look at Stoke's position. So we've said for a while someone might get relegated with high 40s. Stoke and Borough have now got 50. If you drop Wigan into the bottom three on, sorry, let me just remove that banner. Drop Wigan into the bottom three on 45 as well. So 43, 45, 45. Then you start looking at the traffic. You're looking at Charlton, Huddersfield, Hull. Now, excuse me, you don't drop Wigan into the bottom three at all. Sorry, they're above the line on goal difference, aren't they? On 45 points. I wish someone, I know it probably wouldn't be the done thing. I wish someone would put the minus 12 on the table. I can't be bothered to do that, but help my life out. But I agree, Liam. B, just don't want them to keep pressing us. Brentford have been brilliant. Like us, no parachute payments. There you go. Yeah, don't talk about XG, says Jake. That was a long night, wasn't it? Ben, do you see Leeds winning all their remaining games? Probably not, James, because I think they'll be up before the last game. And, you know, although I'm sure Bielsa will literally make 4 substitutions before half time if Leeds aren't playing with any intensity in the last game against Charlton. But, yeah, there you go. They could do, but I don't think they're going to need to, are they? Raymond, not really a fan of the playoffs. It's a bit like Marmite. I can accept anyone's view on the playoffs. I accept the view that sometimes the best 3 teams don't get promoted. But for that con, I think there's a lot of pros indeed. Waffler says, Ben Rama is better than everyone in Everton's midfield. I will bow to your superior knowledge on Everton. I wouldn't know, but certainly a great player. So Huddersfield can get Leeds promoted on Friday. Now that would be funny. It's very, very true, isn't it? Would you like to take those 2 extra points off Swansea on that horrible table? Says Wolf. I can try and bring up a live table as we go. You see, I try and do this. I'm just breaking the fourth wall now here. I try and do this like I've got my phone here. Try and do this without you guys noticing. But look, let's just do it, and I'll tell you that I'm doing it. I'm now getting the updated league table of BBC up. I won't do 2. We'll just get as many as we can on there, and we can all take a look at the updated table in just a few. Thank you for being in time. Hit that thumbs up button. There was a highly professional bit of padding, wasn't it? That's gone to my laptop, and hopefully in just the blink of an eyelid for Wolf, we can get an updated table on. What a bit of padding that was. Spinning wheel, uploading, and there it is, guys. We remove your comment, Wolf, and you can now see what the Forest equaliser has done and what, well, in respect to Forest and Swansea there. So, Millwall 65, Cardiff 67, so 2 points behind. That just keeps Swansea at bay. Obviously, Millwall's destiny not in their own hands yet, but you would like to be at the head of the queue, wouldn't you, in terms of challenging? Does help Forest out big style, that goal, doesn't it? It's a 5-point gap over the playoffs, which would mean the maximum upside for Millwall there would be 71. So Forest would just need 2 more points to mathematically be assured. So any late goals, let me know in that Forest-Swansea game. Any late goals would be very, very big news. It is 2-2. Let me just press refresh on my Infogol app. 2-2 with 76 minutes gone. Charlton still winning. That's a big one down at Birmingham. Let me just bring up the table bottom. Now, I can't remember whether that was with Charlton winning or not. That could be quite big as well, but Birmingham already have 50. God, that could be really big game for Huddersfield tomorrow. If Charlton do go on and get that win, it's pretty much Wigan and Huddersfield, the only two really who are in danger, unless these points just keep rising. And then, God forbid, someone could get relegated with 50 points. Be incredible, wouldn't it? Michael, Leeds shouldn't be so confident. If they lose tomorrow, they're one round of fixtures going against them from going out of the top two. Well, they just need to get the job done. I just think at this point, having that extra game where we're sat today on the Wednesday, I just think having that extra game makes such a difference. Benrahma or Grealish for the Golden Dive prize. I think we've got to give it to Grealish this week, haven't we? Just for the throwing the hands up and actually getting the penalty. But yeah, not good from either player. But remember, two things can be true. They're both very good players, but yes, they were both dives. Carl, won't be long before Leeds come back though. Have to ask your missus to wait until Sunday to buy you the wine. Well, it could be Friday though, Anthony. Could be Friday. Leeds win, and then just West Brom dropping points, just a draw, and it's done. By the way, that's not for me celebrating. That's to drink to all the super chats that we're going to get from all the Leeds fans that I've been promised. Has it changed again? Deary me. It will all be our old chairman, Martin Lang's fault. Says he's no longer here. Is this the playoff guy? I'll have to read to that. Jake says chin chin. So on that note, that's down the hatch. Don't tell my missus. I did actually spill a bit of red wine on the carpet down there. So need to get the old carpet cleaning stuff on that. Not clever. Be careful with red wine. It's a killer. Ridley says, Forrest, have got to be careful. If they lose tonight, they may not even be in the playoffs. Yeah. And remember, they're losing to, if they do lose, it's to an absolute direct rival in Swansea. Let's just have a little refresh of the app. 80 minutes gone at Birmingham, Charlton winning 1-0. 78 minutes gone at Forest, and it is 2-2. Let's keep up the chat. Any questions or comments here? Macaulay Bond scoring for Charlton. Another player Ipswich let go too early. Oh, God. The list just grows and grows, doesn't it? Who do I think would be better in the Prem, West Brom or Brentford? It's so difficult to say because it depends on who they bring in when they get up. In terms of the existing pattern of play, Brentford would be better. Would they be too open with their current players? Then is a different matter. It's a tight one, isn't it? Bilic has managed in the Premier League before and done well in the Premier League. So there's pros and cons to both. I think it would purely depend on the spend and the quality of the recruitment as well. Tony says, don't think West Brom be looking at Leeds, too busy looking over their shoulder. Quite probably, yeah. Actually reiterates that question. Who do you think is best equipped to survive in the Premier League if they get promoted? Look, Leeds will be the best equipped to survive in respects of the extra commercial revenues, the manager they've got, and the size of the club already. In terms of others, well, Fulham struggled, although Fulham have been there a long time before, haven't they? So maybe Fulham, maybe Forest in terms of infrastructure and a new ground coming up. Who knows? Small clubs do struggle up there. If a Brentford or a Millwall did get up with a smaller fan base and smaller commercial revenues, maybe they might have to yo-yo a couple of times in order to survive. So you just got to look at size of club. And I know size of club is unquantifiable sometimes, but we'll kind of know which ones have got the bigger draws and the bigger ability to be more competitive with creating revenue. Huddersfield need to win, says Mr. Leeds versus West Brom. Be a tough game. Stoke still need a point, not on the beach yet. Yeah, that's up for debate, isn't it, as to whether they're on the beach, especially if Charlton can go through and get this win tonight. A lot of teams converging already about the 50-point mark. Derby, so sick of the playoffs, they've let the other teams battle it out instead. Yeah, after that brilliant run, Derby were the form team, weren't they, along with Brentford? I think 5 straight wins at one point, but we knew that run was coming. We knew that big chicane was coming ahead in the road, didn't we? And yeah, it has just sadly caught up with Derby, haven't they? 3 straight defeats and mistakes as well. Hamer's mistake on Saturday, and then Knight last night, and of all people, Rooney getting dispossessed on the ball. Incredible. But You've got to concentrate, haven't you? Aaron, teams play Brentford with fear, like they're going to Anfield or the Etihad. They're beatable, but teams play like cowards. Maybe teams need to be braver on the ball. Brentford are awesome. High time they fell apart again. To be fair to Heretic, we've had this a few times with Brentford where they've got up into the top 4 or whatnot, and they have always fallen away. I wonder if this time will be different. Sean says West Brom pressure is immense. Big stars, big manager, big costs. Only 1 year of parachute payments. Red card in the Forest game here on 82, says Twitter. You want to know who the red card is to? Red card by Kyle Norton on Alex Myton. Swansea are finishing that game with 10 men. So likely 12 or 13 minutes if it's 82 with stoppage time. Swansea are going to have to do it with 10 men. Let's see if they can hold on. Russell says, I have nightmares about Leeds drawing the next 2 games when Barnsley and Derby whack 10 players behind the ball. Do you know what, Russell? I understand your nightmares. I don't think either manager will do that. I just think their entire pattern of play is set up to not stick 10 men behind the ball, which should play into Leeds' favours. Look, don't be surprised when you see Barnsley launching a few attacks tomorrow. They what were they on the chart? 4th most shots per game in the league. Barnsley are an attacking team. They just hired Struber 8 weeks too late and were too far behind from sort of November or so. They're not a terrible team, but I don't think they'll sit back. Badger says, to be fair, speaking as a Leeds fan, we'll need to get some good recruitment. Otherwise, we might struggle. We need to be more clinical. Yeah, I think right down the middle of that team, a centre-back, hopefully for Leeds' sake, Ben White, because he'd be fine. A central midfielder to go alongside Klitsch. I think he'll get the start. And another centre-forward. And it could still be Jean-Kevin Augustin. You don't know. He's obviously been identified there. Liam says Stoke are a different beast at home. Michael O'Neill, not the easiest game for Brentford. Interesting. I wasn't aware of that. Eric says West Brom are in trouble by playing conservative and not to lose. They've sacrificed their form. Brentford now breathing down their necks. Yes. Was quite conservative. It worked against Derby, didn't it, in terms of sit off and press, and they won the game, didn't they? But 2 draws since. Leeds should be able to attract some good players. Yeah, it's just ones that, I mean, look, I'd want to play for Bielsa if I was any type of decent football player at the top level. But you just know he won't sign any players that aren't going to buy into the whole, work ethic and pressing and following the instructions and the 120 states of the game that we've heard about that have to learn all of them. And people coming in and having to lose 13% body fat before they can even go on the bench. And who's the forward? Robbie Gotts, isn't it? He was on the bench 50 times before he even got on the pitch. You just got to know that that's coming. Dale says, can see Huddersfield going down. Could happen. Yeah, the tide is rising at the bottom there. And I think I'm right. I think it's Luton, Hull and Wigan Charlton at the weekend. Brilliant stuff. Absolutely brilliant. Last time Leeds got promoted, Millwall won the playoffs. Wow. I did not know that. Heretic says, last time Leeds played the bottom team, it didn't go so well. And without Calvin, pressure. Was that Luton? It was a draw, wasn't it? Yeah. Interesting. If Derby keep gifting away goals, they will be well beaten by Leeds. Yeah. One thing about playing Leeds is you don't need to give them a head start. We're coming up to 90 minutes in both of these remaining games. Let's just give it another check. I'm sure I'm normally about 10 minutes behind in the chat because there's so many comments. 88 at Charlton, at Birmingham and Charlton winning 1-0. 86 at Forest. It's 2-2. Swansea down to 10 men for the remainder of this game. Mike says, probably an unpopular opinion with my fellow Leeds fans, but I actually hope Millwall make the playoffs. Remember also, Mike, if Millwall make the playoffs, they'll be playing Brentford likely as well. That would be interesting. It would be very interesting indeed. We got some Millwall in the chat. I'm sure Millwall beat Brentford earlier in the season. I'm sure they did. I'm sure they beat them at the Den 1-0. And I remember them being 2-0 up in the away game and losing 3-2 as well. Could be very, very interesting. Jake says playoffs are great unless you're in them. He's totally right. I've been to the all of the semi-finals and both of the finals for the last 2 years. So I've been to 9 playoff games in the last 2 years, and I've loved every minute of all of them. They've been absolutely fantastic. But I've watched Ipswich in the playoffs too many times to mention and hated every second of it. So I know exactly what you mean. But as a neutral, absolutely fantastic. Boffler says should tier the playoffs like the National League. What, as in third place straight to the final and then fourth to 7th or whatever playoff to play third place? Yeah, could work, couldn't it? I suppose at least then you guarantee. But then if the third place team lost, they'd just argue that the others had played more games and were in better form or whatever. Whatever happens, someone is going to moan about it, aren't they? Raymond says if we get promoted, looking like and West Brom lose on Friday, I'd be really happy. Like my birthday and all my Christmases roll into one. Lovely stuff. Whiteheart, Danny says, I remember Pompey finishing third in 93, like 12 points above fourth. Yeah, and Leicester did them, didn't they? Won the playoffs, indeed. You hate the playoffs if you're third. You love them if you're fourth to sixth. But many have been there. Yeah, quite. Hi, Ben. Will you do the Leeds v Barnsley preview? Yes, of course. We will be on tomorrow for Leeds Derby. Although I have to go back to work tomorrow to say goodbye and collect my last check. And being the Sterling stand-up guy I am, they might have something planned for me, which I will obviously graciously accept and then try and leave to get home. But I'll keep you updated on all of that. We'll certainly be here for the match review, even if we're not here for the preview. Playoffs, second division versus first division, Leeds v Charlton, unfair advantage, as you stated, for playoff scenario. Glad it changed. But yeah, I totally agree, Mr. Leeds. You should play second tier teams to get promoted, and you should play top tier teams to stay up. I don't agree. It's just my opinion. I don't agree with bottom Premier League playing top Championship. That's not fair. Test yourself against the Premier League, and if you're not good enough, get out and let someone else have a chance. And that will probably be the cue for the Swans to score. We're talking about the red card. Let's have a little look. See, we'll keep you all updated here. No, into stoppage time at Birmingham. Big win coming up for Charlton. Big win. 2-2 still at Forest. Stoke on 50 points and 17th currently. Think they're safe. I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's wait and see the Charlton result come through, and then we'll get an updated league table. You'd think they'd be safe, wouldn't you? Badger says, I disagree. Top 3 went up, so playoffs was a bonus promotion. If the teams in the playoffs think they should go up, they should play better all season. Yeah, everyone entitled to their view on the playoffs. Chris, hapless refereeing performance by Langford at Nottingham. Chris is all over it there, always watching about 3 games at once. Great subscriber. I've missed the first part of that comment. Although Neil has experience of a winning player. I'm talking about Neil Harris there, I'm presuming there, Wolf. Worth reminding that we would have bitten hands off to get near the playoffs at the start of last season. How Bielsa changes one's expectations. Yeah, I take that, Jay. You just got to roll with it, though, haven't you? I think once you're up there, you need to, and the message from Bielsa to the Leeds players is that they should be winning the division. That's the message. So that's the expectation the players have. Let's have a look here. Kieran says, love how people keep saying Leeds will come back down. Like, yeah, we probably will, but what's the point in playing if you're not playing to go up as you go? Yeah, I totally agree. Get the wine ready for Friday. I've got most of a Rioja there, so we'll have another couple of glasses. Put white wine on the stains. Are you having me on? Does that actually work? Get the likes in. Yeah, please get the likes in. As a Leeds fan, the nearer we get to utopia, the worse it'll be if we mess up. I'm getting some good wine advice here. Put a pile of salt on a red wine spill immediately. I spilled the red wine at half time, I have to say. My missus is probably watching on the stream downstairs to see when I'm going to be coming down. So she probably already knows. I've probably signed my death warrant there, haven't I? I'd love to see when Charlton stay up. I'd love to see Charlton stay up. I was sure they were going to go down when loads of players said they went. Yeah, it didn't look good. Lee Bow's a good manager, isn't he? White Hart Dane says, Matt Clark, another Ipswich player left too early. Yes and no on that one, because that's the one I can forgive because they got Adam Webster as part of the deal. But yes, Matt Clark would have done a fine job. Hey, would have been nice to have Matt Clark and Adam Webster, wouldn't it? Considering they're both at Brighton now and worth a small fortune, aren't they? The best way to deal with red wine on the carpet is to dye the carpet red. Tremendous. Lots of carpet stain experts. Yeah, suspicious. Very suspicious. Skipper says, I did walk 15 minutes from my house to Griffin Park and pay 30p to get in as a kid. Let me have this one just for a season. Good on you. Was the Rooney money well spent? He didn't come cheap. I've said it all along. I think 32 red paid for Rooney. I think that was one of the best deals you can get if you get a player of that caliber and you don't have to pay for him. And he probably sold a ton of shirts as well and bought, lots of nice sponsorship responsibilities. In the words of who was the Real Madrid president? He said sometimes the most expensive signings turn out to actually be the cheapest. I think when he signed Ronaldo or Zidane or something. Birmingham have equalised. Wow. Lukas Jutkovic has scored in the 93rd minute to make it 1-1. Birmingham 1, Charlton 1. That could be an absolute killer goal for Charlton. We'll check out the table in just a minute. That could really stitch Charlton up, especially as we know what fixtures are coming up. We'll keep our eye on it, but that is not good for Charlton. Wow. Ben, do you think Hernandez has got another season in him? Yes, but not as a starter. Spot on, Ben. The season just caught up with Derby. Weren't quite good enough over the year. Coker in his second season. I think they'll finish higher next season, and they're only 8th or 9th or something now, aren't they? Always say it on the channel. Look at the teams in the second year of the plan, and also those youngsters should all improve as well. Looks good for Derby going forward, I think. And they've retooled quite well when you consider that the model was buy all the best players in the Championship and try and avoid FFP. Much more sustainable model now for Derby. I'm almost impressed. Brentford and Forest scare me. Glad we held out for the point today, says Harvey, on a Stoke point there. Owen says stay on till Forest finishes. I think we're going to manage to do that. Why does YouTube never notify me when you're live? I think you have to subscribe and ring the bell. Q Loiner. Teza says, think it'll be a busy night for you tomorrow. It's going to be a great night tomorrow, isn't it? Leeds versus Barnsley. Bielsa won't sign any big-time Charlie players. He likes to work with lesser-known players, and yeah, totally agree with that. That's what I meant about the. That's what I meant about the recruitment that Leeds will do. It'll be very, very interesting. Chris says, yes, Millwall beat us at the Den, but then we beat them 3-2 at home. Be an interesting playoff, that, wouldn't it? Not going to lie, Ben, we are terrible without Phillips, so don't be surprised. Interesting. They won at Huddersfield without Phillips, didn't they? Ben White played in midfield. Correct on both Millwall B scores. There we go. What a mind of useless information I have. Let's keep this going. I'm just going to... Badger says, not going to be at pre-match tomorrow. Too nervous. There we go. He's going to be back at half-time. Hoping 3-0 up at half-time or something. Right. Full-time. Birmingham 1. Charlton 1. Into the 95th minute. Forest Swansea will bring up an updated league table. Liam says Charlton has gone 1-1. We know about that. Sean says, if failed Premier League team get chance to stay up by beating disadvantaged lower team, fair. No, yeah, I don't agree with it at all, Sean. I'm with you on that one. Keep the playoffs as they are. Alex says Preston is now the most hated city in Leeds. Goodmanson says, playoffs does give us the most important game in football. It does, the most important game in football, and it goes up by about 50 million a year. The £1 billion game, isn't it? The most important game in football. We're just waiting, and it is over. No, it is not. Sorry, I didn't get that right. I thought it told me full time had come up there. 1-1, yeah, full time there. If we go up, I'm super chatting you how much to down the full glass. I don't know, whatever you want to give. Depends how full the glass is, isn't it? I might get a little bit headachy if I do that though. Leeds boys were really unlucky. Should have won last year. Yeah, that was the mother of all psychological breakdowns. That wasn't it. I was at the game. Charlton shipped a goal 4 minutes into injury time. Yes, not ideal at all. Milk is the trick for red wine on the carpet. Someone's going to tell me in a minute, put mud and chocolate on the carpet. White wine is the trick to get blood out of the carpet. Nice. I hope Ipswich come up. How are you guys doing? Not confident, but there we go. Say it right. It's Barnsley. Barnsley. Mick McCarthy. Barnsley, says my Ipswich accent. Right. I've been sub for ages and have the bell rung. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't do anything differently. I put all the streams up and advertise them. Just follow on Twitter and then you'll see. Kurt says, we aren't terrible without Phillips. We're top, just less strong. Keep the faith. There we go. Gaza says, Luton to leapfrog Charlton and survive. Right, let's see if I can do another really smooth bit of tech because it is full time and it's another draw. The Forest game is over. Let's have a look now at the up-to-date table, particularly as it pertains to the bottom of it now. And we'll see how badly that goal has possibly screwed Charlton. I think it has screwed them quite badly. So let's bring the bottom of the table up first. I think the top of the table is still going to be right because Forest and Swansea were drawing when last we put it up on the screen. So just now in my top, we will alert, and particularly from you of Charlton. Hopefully that has now gone through and we can bring it up and we'll have a look. Gaza says Luton to leapfrog Charlton and survive. Let's see if he is onto something there. Table now coming up, guys. Thank you for being patient. And there it is, last updated at 7:58. So that should be as accurate as we can possibly get it. So Wigan will be in 21st on 45. Charlton would have been on 49. Oh, that was a big, big last-minute goal or 93rd minute goal that went against them. There, in terms of safety now, I mean, you would think those three teams on 50 points are safe, wouldn't you? Stoke, Borough and Birmingham. But still, let's have a look. They might actually be safe on the basis that the other teams are playing each other. Let's do some quick maths. So Huddersfield go to West Brom, host West Brom. That obviously is a hard game. Yeah, Charlton versus Wigan means that one of those two teams is dropping points. Stoke, Brentford, and Hull, Luton. I'm not that smart, but I would think, given that Hull are playing Luton and Charlton are playing Wigan, that if you do all the permutations, maybe those 50-pointers are safe already on the basis that both teams can't pick up 3 points. And yeah, you'd have to be a good mathematician to work all of that out. But yeah, I think on that basis that Hull and Luton, only one of them can go to 48. Charlton could go up to 50, which would then leave, it's difficult to work out, but that would then leave Wigan further down on 48. I'll do all the permutations for the preview, but on the basis that they're going to, probably one of the games will end up being drawn, maybe those 50-point teams are safe already. Forest finished 2-2. Let's have a little look here. Why does Gary Monk literally make a good start? Does he ever get sacked? He normally just storms out, doesn't he? If Luton beat Hull Saturday, are Hull relegated? Let's have a look. If anyone's a better mathematician than me, can work that all out. If Luton beat Hull, they will have 48. Wigan will have 45. So no, I don't think Hull will be relegated. They have got a better goal difference, haven't they? It's a struggle for me to work this out. I'll sit down and do it properly tomorrow, unless someone can figure it all up. Wigan are not in the bottom three. They're above Hull on goal difference. I've heard you like stats, Ben. So here's one. Our win percentage with Phillips is 56.8. With White, it's 66.7. What's the sample size for how many games White has played with DM? That might be more pertinent. But yes, lies, damn lies, and statistics. Obviously, you'd rather have Calvin Phillips in your team. But what that shows is Ben White can sit there and do a job, can't they? So Mill will have to win the last two and hope Cardiff lose one. I think that is about the size of it, isn't it? Let's bring Charlton have informed Wigan and Leeds to play. Yeah, that goal was a real killer for Charlton. In terms of the top there, Millwall, they don't need to win both. A win would take them on 68, 2 defeats for Cardiff, and that would be enough, relying on Swansea to also not get any points really, or 1 or 2 points from the last couple of games. 4 points for Millwall in the last 2 games would put them on 69. A Cardiff win really does scupper Millwall's playoff potential. That table is wrong, is it? I just pressed update there, so we'll find out. What's Ben White's XG? Low, probably. The most recent one, kind of. Yeah, you're right. Swansea drew in the end. So that previous one, yeah, the bottom part of the table was right, wasn't it? Yeah, but the top one probably is still wrong. I can't keep up. Anymore. Ellis says, I'm really positive and I think the Huddersfield will get something out of the West Brom game. That could be impression. It says the bottom 3 will stay as it is. Ben White has the quality to shield our Tiger from too many rash challenges. Ben White shouldn't be looking after Berardi, shouldn't they? He should not be mental, but yeah, we'll see what he does. Brentford getting automatic promotion, says Krish. Possibly. All depends on Huddersfield and West Brom tomorrow night. Right. Thank you, everybody. We will call it quits on that one. Tonight, Brentford kept up the pressure. Ollie Watkins banging in that early goal on 4 minutes there to keep them within 1 point of West Brom, and to mean that Leeds United cannot be promoted tomorrow, but they could be promoted on Friday without playing. That's how crazy it's all getting at the moment. I'll do the maths for the bottom of the table. In the meantime, let's say I will be back tomorrow for the preview, unless I'm not, but I will definitely be here covering Leeds and Barnsley in some shape, form or fashion. So please do come along tomorrow night. And then at some point, we will get the Championship Game Week 44 review done. We'll get the preview for Game Week 45 done. Literally, you have about 14 hours to get all of that written and recorded and filmed and up. But I've kept up so far. It might go up on Friday morning or something and not live, but I will get it done, I promise. As it says across the bottom there, support the channel via Super Chat on YouTube or subscribing on Patreon. Please hit subscribe, try and get us towards 10,000 before the end of the season. That'd be amazing. Hit the like button as well. I'd like to thank everybody in the comments. Goodmanson, Sean, Q Loyner says, how can we be promoted Friday if you win tomorrow night and Huddersfield do not win on Friday? Then 2 teams cannot overtake Leeds. Ergo, they will be promoted on Friday. The league will be unassailable. Right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Let's end on Kurt's comment, because he's totally right. There's only one Ben Bloom, legend. Thank you, sir. Thank you all for watching. And I'll see you tomorrow. Just check Twitter and I'll advertise when I'm going to be on. If not, just DM me. If I recognise your name, I'll follow you and reply. Obviously, once I know you're not a weirdo, like some people who DM me are. Not anybody in the chat. I appreciate the hell out of all you lot. Right, I'm going to shut up and go and tell the missus that I spilt wine on the carpet. Wish me luck. Thank you for watching. It was Brentford 1, West Brom 0. See you tomorrow. Over and out.